And Tetiana, can you go up so that I can say, no, up the minutes so that we can see the dates. Believe it or not, it's Monday, but hello, everyone. Today is October 11th, and this is the MicroProfile Marketing Hangout. Debbie is the steward for October. However, last minute she had an emergency and has asked us to take over for this call. Tetiana, Ed, and myself will cover her so we can write leads. After our names, we'll write leads on behalf of Debbie. And let's do this. Oh, and by the way, we have not prepared as well as Debbie did with the minutes. So we will do our best. So one of the things Debbie did was she consolidated a few tasks. We have been talking about it when she was the steward in August. She was mentioning how sometimes complicated it is to follow one task that relates to another one. So this month, she worked on putting all the tickets that belong to one major task together. And the consolidation goes first, as you can see here, SurveyMonkey Logistics. What we have in here is, Ryan, you are here. Do you have access to the admin SurveyMonkey for MicroProfile? Yes or no?
Yeah, I believe I got it. I got in there today. Yeah.
Okay, it took us a little bit, 2 weeks to deal with some issues. Edwin and Ryan have now admin access to the SurveyMonkey. There are the two people assigned to push surveys on behalf of the MicroProfile working group. Edwin, because he is the committed representative of the entire MicroProfile community, there is only one elected, and he needs to ask questions to the community, the committers, whatever he wishes. There is a document that deals with how to do those so that it follows the operational expectations. And then there is Ryan, that on behalf of this marketing group will help us pushing the surveys that are like, the first one is going to be choosing the compatible logo. Ryan, you just got access today, which means this week you will work on the sign and all these other things. Will you please use the Git ticket to provide us updates, and also use the marketing forum to tell us this is what is happening so that we know some of the progress? We're just waiting for you to help us with the design so that we can start the voting.
Am I setting up the actual survey, or
yes,
am I just getting the visuals for it?
We're doing everything, Ryan.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I thought that was Edwin is doing that since he has a admin account for it. So.
No, Edwin will do, once we need to set up the idea that I have in mind is, if possible, is that we create a general imaging that is MicroProfile Forte for the SurveyMonkey. That means that every single time we run a survey, it runs with the exact same design. Do you see? Like that is something that is scalable, that it has the MicroProfile logos and flavor. No favoritism for one survey to be with one design, but it's your prerogative because you're the amazing one to do most of the designs for MicroProfile.
Yeah, we'll brand it and make sure it all is coherent to the brand, and will look great. So when people see it, they don't have to actually see the logo and they'll know what it's for.
All right. So keep us informed. And for Ryan, for that task, a new ticket has to be created because you might have questions and you might want a feedback loop onto different things, different choices. So please create a link.
Wouldn't it just go into the first, you said the ticket that already exists about what's the updates? Yeah,
SurveyMonkey Logistics.
So wouldn't this just go into there?
This will go linked to this, but if you feel that your work can be hidden within this ticket, so be it.
Sure, I think at least for the beginning, because it's just branding, and it's a survey, so it's not too complicated. And I'm sure if it's something that people hate, after the first survey goes out, we'll hear about it. So.
Well, Ed, Tetiana, feedback on this?
Yeah, totally okay.
Ed?
Yeah, talking on mute. Yeah.
Okay. So Ryan, on it, let us know how to unblock you, and you can use this ticket or a new ticket, up to you.
Cool, I'm on it.
Perfect. And that is a priority one for anything MicroProfile. Nothing is more important than that item. And the other thing that I'm going to do while Ryan takes care of the survey design and set up for the newest, for what we need to vote on, is we need to create a document that says how the MicroProfile working group will use or collect personal IP. In a previous call back in sometime in August, we discussed during this marketing, it was the working group marketing call, that it is important for MicroProfile to hold personal IP, just because like that, there is only one person, one vote. This means that we need to create a quick one-page document that tells MicroProfile is not going to sell the emails. MicroProfile is not going to contact anyone from the emails. These are the 2 people, 3 people with the web admin from the Eclipse Foundation that have access, right? We will sign, there are a few steps to follow, and I will take over that task to do the draft. Chris is on the side with the support to enable us to do a good job so that security is prioritized. And the ticket doesn't exist yet. This just happened last week. We were discussing with Ryan, and then the conversation led to me owning it, while Ryan owns the other side. All right. Are there questions, or can we move to another topic?
We can move on, yeah.
What is it?
We can move on. Yeah, this one is clear, yeah.
Perfect. All right. Here, this one is a wiki. Oh yeah. So this is the Zoom admin. The Zoom admin wiki page has been created, and there was a section that needs the images to work. John back when volunteered to add them into the wiki once the wiki was created. And I think that Debbie completed the wiki under the working group last week. And then John was pulled in via the Git tickets. And all of that for the Zoom, John needs to get back from his timeout and then help Debbie with that so that we will close these tickets. There is no extra work to be done. All the review was done by multiple MicroProfilers, including Ed, Ryan, Tetiana, Niha, Rustam. I mean, everyone was part of that document. We do the marketing release. That one is almost completed as well. Last time I saw Emily provided the missing piece. There was the checklist that is, can you click, Tetiana, on the ticket marketing release, please?
Yep, sure.
Let's go to the bottom, and I think Emily sent something. It's connected to ticket 55. If you go below.
This is it.
Yeah, it's like complicated. There is a ticket connected to this where Emily is pulled in to create a template with Debbie. There, 551.
You mean this one?
Yeah.
586.
No, not that one. You go into 31.
551.
Yes, that one. Thank you so much for sharing. So Debbie created this checklist that will follow all the future releases. And once she was working on creating the wiki under the working group repo, and she realized that she's not a committer for this repo, and she needed help by a committer. Emily back when said that she will like to help. So she created, if we go all the way to the bottom, I believe that that template was created last week, late last week. There you go. There is a PR here. You can see
Mhm.
the PR is created and I'm waiting to merge it. I will merge it as soon as Debbie review it. If you click in the PR, there it is. It just shows you the template that Debbie created with all the work that we did for MicroProfile 4.1 release. It's going to be super cool. That means that as soon as this is merged, when we go to new issue, this will show up as a template to be selected under this repo. Currently not available. It's really cool. And I think we use this also for the technical work of the releases. And now we're bringing it to the marketing side as well. I think it's an improvement. And it's all thanks to Debbie.
Yep, great work.
Yes. Then we go the stewards onboarding document. Also, the same situation. This will close anything that Ed, Tetiana, all of us have done for the last 2 quarters or 3 quarters is being set up here in a document. And this will close as soon as Debbie is back and is able to create a weekend. I think she is already creating diverse wikis. It's only that she's not here to tell us about that one. All right. Okay. So back in August, when Debbie was the steward, we talked about the FAQ for the website. And we realized that since 2016, MicroProfile FAQ has never been updated. It has been 5 years. So it's time for us to use the data that is currently available to feed the information on what should you know that is easy to know about MicroProfile or not. Debbie created, she had decided to own the task because she's a writer and we can click on it. If you can click on it, that would be great. She sent a note to the marketing forum as well, asking for feedback. The document is here and is enabling everyone to review it. She didn't put any deadlines. Oh, it's not, that is not the document. She created another document.
Here is the first draft, it seems.
Okay, there you go. She's using the trivia document we created when we were working on Jakarta and MicroProfile messaging document. And she's using that information. I have not reviewed the document, but now the document awaits review. We can use suggested edit for her to know what should go or not into it and what to improve. So this is important and requires everyone's attention. Debbie is only awaiting for our feedback. It has no deadline. It has been 5 years. And then Ryan, question for you. You and Tetiana are the 2 people that are more comfortable in, also Debbie, the most people that are more comfortable at updating the website on sections that are not automatic. Are you comfortable to update this section as well? Or will you prefer help in the future for it?
The FAQ section?
Yeah, if we click FAQ, what currently is, we never change it. We wrote it stuff when we launched, the MicroProfile website was launched by Tommy Tribe team. And we just wrote some things with others and updated it here. And you see here. So
yeah, do we want to use the same layout that we use now? Or
we can do anything
is
we
there
want.
some idea? Am I frozen?
No, go ahead. Ryan.
Am I back? Okay, I kind of disappeared for a bit. The idea is to keep the same kind of format, just expand on it?
Hopefully, yes, and we can improve it, Ryan. We have improved diverse areas in the website, and the document is just for content, but in it, there is one section that I would like for us to consider, and it's like at the end of the document, we should create something that says improvements to the page, and that is where you come in, right? What would you like to see that is improvement so that it will make the user experience better, less clicks, much
Mhm.
more doable. Do we create a full page for this within the resources page, right?
Yeah, I say, I mean, depending on how big the document is, yeah, we can make its own page easily.
All right. So then,
I can handle this updating it manually when new things come, because once it's all put in, I mean, it's just one or two new ones from time to time. So
Yeah, most likely the view will be the same. The only thing that the content will be changing, and also maybe the location of these frequently asked questions. Maybe it might be good to place it as well on the homepage at the end or somewhere else.
two different places. What I was thinking is we go into the document and check for the content. And also at the end of the document, we say improvements. In my view, just like Tatiana said, homepage, it will be amazing, and also resources. We have duplication and content for MicroProfile that goes in maybe two different pages, and it's kind of nice. It doesn't hurt anyone. And also it's
are
not,
we talking about listing, having the actual FAQ on the homepage, or more a call to action to take them to the FAQ? Because it's going to be a whole page.
yeah, it's going to be a whole page. And what we need, a whole page under resources. And then we need something from the homepage that might link it to it for anyone that wants to see it. You know, like,
Yeah, okay. So yeah, like its own card. Okay. I just want to make
Yes.
sure I understood you correctly.
yes. And the thing is that the brainstorming is so soon because she just sent David sent a document for review last week, and none of us have seen it, correct? But we saw it arriving in the forum. And then we need to we need to discuss like we're doing right now. Is it a good idea? And then if it's a good idea, let's write it in the documents. So it creates the tracing on how we, future tickets to come in. That's how we do it, right?
Frankly speaking, that might be reasonable to have frequently asked questions here at the end of the page, and maybe top 3 questions to add them right to the page, like because this will be better from search engine optimization, because here on the homepage we have too few texts. So this FAQ, this will help to increase the text amount on the page. That will be good from SEO optimization side, and in general for searching for this website for the content. And for example, we can put not all the questions, but like 3 or 5, and then learn more button that will lead to the page with all the questions that listed within the document or within the page.
Tatiana, that is amazing. Please go into the document and write like the ideas, because I think that is exactly what we need to do. There is work to be done. I think the content is easier, and the level is Debbie has done the hardest thing. She's gouging all the content from the trivia documents. And then now she's going into, we're going to how to place it so that it actually survives. That means we might even wish to push it under, if it has its own page, we can use it as a most information, FAQ, and push it over media once a month or once a quarter, or I have no clue. There are so many things we can do. So this is really, really cool. All right, we can continue improvements with this. I think we need to not only review, but also write how to add it into the website. That will be two tasks. And Ryan, thank you so much for agreeing to own the updates.
Yeah, no problem. I know this website pretty well. So
yes, yeah. So let's use the document, please. Definitely, let's say here, please use the document to add the brainstorming for improvements. Mm-hmm. And thank you so much, Tatiana, for sharing the screen, and Ed for letting people in.
Okay, so we can move on, I think.
Yeah. The website, here we have the next 2 items are compatible implementations. We need to create an implementations compatibility page and implementations page. And this is a task that we need to undertake very soon, actually in Q4. The problem with this task is that we don't have the compatible logo for the compatible implementation. So it's a little bit odd, but we can start the brainstorming. The recommendation is there are duplications, so we need to close one of these tickets. We only need one. Ticket 529 was open. Can you click it? I think it was open early this year. Yes, so it was open in June. All right. And then what we can do is we can close one of these tickets. The other one was recently opened, which is easy to do when we don't check the history. This is why we're consolidating items. We will close one of these tickets. None of them has the most important information. Some of us have been a part of the creation of the Jakarta website from its get-go, and we can use some of the work that we see is effective with user experience in that side. Usually right now, the Jakarta website is being redone, but some areas from those pages are exact. And for those of you that are aware of all the releases from Jakarta 9 and Jakarta 9.1 and 8, we have come a long way at the moment. We have created the newest page that is news and announcements. That means that when we create the compatible and the implementations page, there are two specifications and the compatibility for member logos and all these things. The two pages will contain also the announcements that we make and control all the information in one section. So my recommendation in this is to create a document, to put the two pages and see and pull in things that we believe we should keep from the work done in Jakarta EE and things that we can improve from it. Though usually Tommy Tribe has created diverse PRs to improve that website, and those PRs can be brought in use for MicroProfile, we don't want to push that work without having everyone in this group educated and understand why it matters, and why the work took. The one PR I think took like 8 months to close. Ryan, is that correct? It was like the announcement?
I don't know the exact date, but yeah, it took a while.
And another PR took 6 months, right? It's really, really complicated in that side because they have services and they have people behind it, and usually the community is not as enabled to do that work. But we always push on to, we should be educating everyone to be able to do this work. And that is what we want for MicroProfile. We will continue to push this, and it should be done via PRs. Any updates in the 2 pages should and must happen via PRs. Not like we have currently the main page, landing page for MicroProfile that is updated personally, like it needs a person. These 2 pages will be updated. So any feedback, whomever wants to own the document started, we can do it. We should start sometime this month. Volunteers? Okay, guess what? I will own the start of the page super quickly to say this, just because we're, with Bill Shannon, and you remember this, with Bill Shannon, we owned the creation of the websites, and we created the documentation, and then with Bill, everything was PRs, and it was such a wonderful experience. It makes me miss Bill badly. So we're going to do it. I will start the page. Brainstorming, not draft, brainstorming, right? And I will make sure to add the PRs that we have donated to the Jakarta E, the latest ones from 8 and 9, a few that are relevant, so that those of you that code can understand why things were created. And I hope that we can just bring that code into Jakarta, into MicroProfile, and be done with it, because we did the work. There is no need to replicate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ed, what is happening with the review of the document? This is for.
So we were waiting. I was waiting for more feedback, but I guess none ever came in. So you just want me to push that to there's this new wiki, please? That seems like where it should go.
Yeah, so Ed, first you need to go through the review, reject, accept, whatever you see.
Yeah.
readable. After you're done with that, pull me, since I am the only person that has given you review, because I work with you, I pull you into this to help us move the pilot ahead. As soon as you are done with that, please pull me back into the ticket and say, Amelia, I'm done with the review.
Okay, so you want the comments accepted, or you want to see the final, and then we'll talk about whether to move it or where to put it, the final draft.
The final draft is going to be located under the working group repo. However, I would love the opportunity to do a final review, and it's only possible once you clean all the. It's really hard to do review with all the green. So then I imagine that maybe Tetiana or someone else will decide to read it once it's more welcoming. At the moment, it's not.
Okay.
That's my biased opinion.
Yeah. Okay. It's a little dense.
Yeah. And then all of them are together, so we don't need to open them. It is here. We're just waiting for that. As soon as we create the wiki, it can even be happening this week. Ed, you have right access to the wiki. There is no need for PRs. There is no need for anything. You just write it after we're done with that. And then immediately we will start adding everyone from the MicroProfile marketing side as strategy access.
So here there is some question about opening new issue. Is it still valid? Do we still need this?
I'm not sure why we have this. It seems that maybe Debbie was waiting for Ed. She thought we're done with the document. Why is it not closed? And it's because we haven't written anything in the Git issue until now. Ed needs to review it. He will put me in, and there is some live going on, and then we will close it. We close the Git issue when there is a wiki. Usually, you close the Git issue with the link to the wiki and say done. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can close 5, 6, 7 that is about giving access to everyone. So the 2 tickets are combined. Ed, all for you.
Do we need to add people?
We will only do it once we have the wiki, because what we want, Ed, is to make sure that we're giving everyone access and that they have an email, the wiki, to read why they get access and how and what they can do with it. We don't want to waste the time repeating things when we have a documentation that can do that job for us.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize people
No.
were blocked on this.
Totally okay. Totally okay.
All right, I'll get that fixed.
Tetiana, we go to the next one, I think, because there are 2 tickets, but they are super easy to fix.
Okay. You mean, what about this program plan working group?
Yes. So this is the call. Last week, I do not remember the date. There was a MicroProfile working group budget call. It was, I imagine, led by Emily. I only joined 20 minutes of the call. Tetiana, you were there, and I think those of you that were there for the full hour are more equipped to handle the updates of what went down on that call. Can one of you, Tetiana or Ed, on it, please?
Frankly speaking, right now I'm trying to remind myself what was at that call.
It was when I joined, it was a brainstorming call. What to do with $9,000 that are leftovers of the 36,000. And Emily nicely shared, sent a note in the minutes to the forum, to the community forum, so we can see maybe that thread, and she can, this is not it. This 2022, we cannot have it right now because we need quorum to even discuss. We can, the coolest thing about 2022 is that any of you and me can go into the program plan and the budget, and it's program plan first, and start thinking, what else, what do we drop from 2021 that didn't work? and what should we do more in 2022, right? Not only for the marketing side, but in the technical side, we can provide feedback about anything and everything. We have until the entire month to work on the program plan. It needs to be voted by the steering committee, I believe the first week of November. And then we immediately, after that is completed, we go into the budget based on priorities chosen. And then we assign money to there is currently $119,000, the same amount from 2021 for budget to be allocated. And the coolest thing is that we don't have trademark costs because we're going to be completing all the trademark work that we had to do. There was currently 40,000 allocated for trademark, doing things like the guidelines the community created, the handbook that Ryan created as well. We have all these other things. So the $13,500 that are used for legal, we don't have a take on that, but we will be getting some money back out of the 40K because we have done most of the work, about 95%, if I'm correct, of the work. So the Eclipse Foundation, when we negotiated the budget, we make sure that no money will be withdrawn without telling us what they have done and how is the money spent. So there is about 60,000 that will be pulled into the 2022 budget. The previously were not possible. There is also a surplus that is likely we will bring to 2022. Sharon did send an important email, and the email says we owe it to the community to invest the money allocated for the given year. That is absolutely correct. However, we don't have to rush and waste that money. If we don't see it a good fit for it, and that is to thank our community and make sure that the work and content is being published as it should, then we will just bring the surplus, because there is no law under the Eclipse Foundation bylaws that expects and dictates that a working group must spend the money within its working year. That means MicroProfile has chosen the working year of January 1st to December 31st. So we have work to do, and it's super fun because we have a lot of money to distribute. And also the working group, while being created in 2020, decided that we do not want to buy services from the Eclipse Foundation, that we, the community, can own itself. That means there will be no half hire for marketing or all these other things that are seen in a few other projects under the Eclipse Foundation. Oh, Ed, you can say something.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I wasn't on the call on Monday. So, I mean, it was recorded.
Well, yeah, during this call, mainly we were discussing, I just reminded myself what we were discussing, because it seems to me that it was like in my previous life. So we were discussing like different options, what activities can be done and for what activities the budget can be distributed. One of the points that was discussion around these t-shirts and swags that can be distributed, like there was discussion whether we need to spread it through all the jogs and all the organizations, or should we provide them only for active ones, and the rest of the activities to do in the next year for together again with active jogs who are preparing for some events and so on and so forth. So that was one of the discussions, and also some list was created, like with some ideas what can be done, like some videos or some content creation, or maybe some paid campaigns like on D-Zone or other media. So some stuff like that. So right now, as far as I understand, the offerings are open. So people still can provide suggestions and recommendations what they see as suitable for the community, and later on we will be finalizing the program.
Tetiana, the 25K for swag is already decided. And what I remember for the 20 minutes that I joined, just like Ed, I almost missed it. It was meant, I had canceled it biasly, right? We're talking about the 9,000 that are extra, but that we need to subtract the infra being used currently. And that also includes the buffer for MicroProfile that can be used for these kind of things. So we need to be very careful when we say what feedback we need, right? Because swag is already allocated and 25,000 will be used to say thank you to not only the committers, contributors, but also JAGs. But then what do we do with the extra, maybe $6,000, right?
Well, frankly speaking, feedback is welcomed, I think, in any way, even if it's extra than the budget, because we can push these ideas to the next year. Right now, we already need to plan next year's budget and next year's activities. So this will be timely to get any feedback from the community, like in case some ideas come up.
Yeah, correct. And I remember when I joined, I did say this zone is a great idea. Expenditure is $5,000. We don't have it this year, but definitely has one of the biggest distributions on content, and we should definitely consider, but we need technical content, and MicroProfile has not done an update that is technical with new features for a while, given the working group creation. So I think maybe 2022 put us in the right mode where we can allocate that money. So Tetiana, thank you so much for the updates. Everyone, we're meant to work on the 2020 tomorrow live. However, everyone can go in it. What I did was John sent the information last week with a link. He copy-pasted 2021. The problem is that he copy-pasted under the external drive that is under the Eclipse Foundation. So then when I noticed it, I immediately copied that document under the community drive that welcomes anyone in the world to contribute without restrict access. If everyone remembers, under the external, that is a formal folder only for the steering committee and the Eclipse Foundation to collaborate and work on. Though the drive is actually linked to the working page, it has only view access for non-steering committee members. We don't operate in that manner. Budget and planning for the MicroProfile project are created in the open and provide right feedback and right access to everyone. So I sent a message to the community and provided the Git issue that is not added here. Clearly I need to add it here. Didn't have time to review this. And the Git issue provides the deadlines for everything. And here as well, right?
Yep. Okay. So here there is also a question about whether we need to add such kind of topics to the marketing agenda.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems to me.
Yes, always. We need working group always. We have the category working group always, but for the time being, until we are done, we will be done with this by the middle of November. We will need to have it stable. So we need to add it, Debbie, and say, yes, Debbie, we need this always. And it needs to be as a priority one topic, not at the end. It needs to be the first thing we see when we go into the call, at least in my prerogative.
Okay, so then we have general part. All
right. Ed, who wants to take over and continue talking about this? I didn't see, someone else wants to do the talking.
I don't know if there's too much update.
No,
too much update for this.
Yes, go ahead, Ed. On general, and then maybe Tetiana can on the next topic. How about that?
Okay, sure. First off, if you joined and you haven't put your name on the in the agenda, please don't forget to do that.
I will do that right now. I forgot.
Let's see. So. So I guess the question she was asking is the ballpark, are we happy with this ballpark? Notion, you know, they just sort of hang out at the bottom of the meeting minutes. I don't know.
Tetiana, can you go to the end of the minutes, please? And I will show you what we did. Ballpark.
Right, there you go.
Here. So listening to the feedback from previous months, I went in because we close a quarter, and that is what we do. We check the feedback and we implement. I created a project that says ballpark, that will be project number 10, and it has all the tickets that are under ballpark. So no longer do we have to see tickets that are like 15, they were 15 or 18 when I created this project. And what we did was add to-dos, in progress, review, and closed. That means is we consolidate into one project, we don't forget them, they continue to be a part of the minutes, yet there's a clean view. That is exactly what we wanted, correct? There are some in progress that will never be closed, that is a fact in media, and this is a show and tell, and I asked David to provide a minute or two to show you what we did. And it will be closed after this, like the tickets will be closed because
This one here.
yeah, it will be closed. We can close it. Tetiana, you can close it if you want. I will go and close it. But
I don't really have access for closing, as far as I remember.
as soon as you get try access, you will be able to close tickets and open and assign and do all of it. Ed, do you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot close it right now, but you will close it soon. I will close it, but this is a show and tell, an improvement.
I can.
Okay.
The next one is the MicroProfile 5 release, which that's, as far as I know, that's still on track. And lots of activity. I see you've tried out this task list, the release task list. If you click that, I think that's it, that's the 551.
Considering the date, October 22nd, is it still valid, or there are some movements?
We'll know more tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. I think we are on track. It's even it's even added to the calendar. And Ed, you're correct. The ticket was submitted to the MicroProfile Marketing Forum, and it should be here. I'm not sure why it's not consolidated under consolidated items. There are a ticket about the release. Here, this is a ticket. And this is just a warning that this is happening. We have the template for the blogs, and we have now the checklist. So I think we will be on time for all the push. We are also deciding that we might want to also publish around that same time, the 5-year anniversary of MicroProfile. Last time I was on a call, John agreed to review it, but I haven't been pulled into the ticket, which means he has not reviewed it yet. The blog that Emily and I drafted, there will be 2 authors in that blog with whomever reviews it as a contributor needed heart. It was missing heart. So John said he would provide the heart.
Okay.
And the project that is linked there, it's pretty much a boilerplate project. It hasn't really been filled out yet. There's the test issue and the MicroProfile 5 release, and then the startup cards that are in there. Where it says release project here, if you click that. Right on the proposed release date.
Oh yeah, Tetiana, do you see that release project here? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
So those
to
first
do
cards
tasks.
are yeah, they're just filled. That's just filled in for you when you create the new project, and then the test issue that we were with the task list, and then the MicroProfile release project, issue itself, right?
Yes, and Ed, you're correct. We do have a project for releases that we get to assign it, and we can see everything that is happening. Currently, we don't have a blog, and hopefully we make the deadline, but if we do not, then we have also November. Technically speaking, there is a lot of activity. We have Edwin, Emerson, and Emily and their committers and the other committers working on this, and the update is minimal. And like, okay, maybe I'm not counting it correctly, but I think hopefully we make it.
They said they were on track last week, so I assume that they'll still on track this week. Okay, so if you want to look at the task list, or if you click that 551 link there in the next line. Right. So did you make that is that a manually generated task list, or did you I forget, is that
This is the one,
does
Ed.
it come from a template?
Yeah, Ed, this is the one that we showed early. That ticket
Yeah.
needs to be, we need to consolidate. There are 3 tickets about 5. Emily created the template. She volunteered to create a template, this template for Debbie, because Debbie is not a committer.
Wow.
She just created it this weekend. I think it was on Saturday. And as soon as Debbie reviews it, I will merge the PR and we will have a template. Tetiana, where you go upper, if you say new issue, can you click that, please? The difference is going to be here. Currently, the marketing forum brings you directly to create a new ticket. But if you go to the working group repo, we have 2 templates there under the repo that are chosen for releases and things as such, and compatibility. So this repo will have also templates that are used all the time, that we can have the checklist and connect diverse tickets associated with it. Like that, it doesn't mean that we don't have to create the Git issues. It just means the navigating the release and what is done and what is not done will be easier, just as when we do the technical. So I imagine this will be done this week because we have the template created. It just needs review. And then Ed, if you want to go in there in Tetiana to review it and say, this looks good to me, please comment on the PR. I already reviewed it and I didn't see anything wrong, but more eyes are important. We just need to duplicate this, the exact.
Okay, and once the template's checked in, you can modify it. Right? So it's not hard cast in stone.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we just need something to go on, and I think we did a really good job. And then as we continue to do things, we will adjust. Clearly, you're correct.
Okay. All right, the next one's about moving the minutes. It looks like Emily's assigned to do that. You need to be a committer, I guess. Actually, you don't.
Yeah, but Emily can do that.
Right.
She can delete events on the calendar, and she can go into the Zoom admin. She's one of the admins on behalf of the technical APIs. There is Ken, John, Kevin, John, and Emily. Kevin and John are only there just for general, and Emily takes care of any of the APIs. If any of the working groups that are focused on each API needs help, they can read the Zoom admin wiki that we are going to push forward and know who to contact, create a Git issue, and update anything, right? We're creating that scalability. Emily is just doing this because she's in that call and she can do it easily. So it's cool to see.
Okay, and then I guess I need to summarize my call stewardship, so I'll take care of that. And then
Ed, you cannot go so fast. You need to give us the retrospective for your month.
Yeah, but I don't have it. So, I mean, I could just blather on right now, but I don't think you guys care.
You know what? No, we do care.
Well, no, I guess I'd like to. Right now, I guess my biggest concern is the every other week meeting cadence. It seems like there's almost always some other marketing activity that comes up you know, and so the meeting happens, even though, like, for example, last week we tried not to have it on Monday, but Emily had a marketing meeting anyways. So, and then we ended up not having too many people on the call. So
Yes.
I don't know what to do about that, right? Because anybody can, there's a large number of people that can start the meeting, you know, and then actually the meeting can, without a host, the meeting can take place. So, anyway, I think it causes some confusion in the community. Is there actually a meeting? Is there not a meeting? Do I need to set aside this hour or not, or don't I? Right.
Ed, I have the same concern. And when the conversations were happening, because I do believe that we can work through email, and I do not believe the calls are necessary 24/7, especially for the marketing side. I did send the notes. One of the things that I realized is that for the last quarters, it has been me usually zooming out and saying this call is canceled early on. So like that, everyone gets an hour back, and then there are the tickets, and you can work in the tickets. And we have been doing really good work on it. And given the feedback and the push that happened, which is absolutely okay, I realized that moving forward, since I continue to be the steward for the additional 2 calls that happen in the month, is that I would no longer cancel the calls and just inform everyone why they are canceled and provide the gift tickets. I would explain why I consider the call to be good for cancellation, and then enable a 24-hour window where anyone within the ecosystem can come back and say, we should have the call and this is why. And together, those ones that are active, like you, like everyone else, can say, I don't agree or I agree. Because one of the 7 pillars of the MicroProfile charter is low barrier to entry. If we have 4 calls for MicroProfile marketing and every single call happens every Monday, that is too much in my book, right? We have them strategically. Even though the calls are assigned in the calendar, they only get used when we have things to talk that we cannot do online. That means via a gift ticket or email. And if we ourselves think that having the call scheduled makes us so that we have to show up to say, I do not know why, then we need to make sure that we are very aware of low attendance, because no one has the time to waste. And I think one of the most precious things that our community has done in the last 5 years is protect each other's times and work independently. That means through gift tickets, through emails, and make sure that things get moving without having to see each other. And this is how I feel and how I think we can improve. 24-hour warning, should it be longer, 48 hours? What is the take here? And this is the feedback I want to receive, because no one provided the feedback when I sent the message about improvements, because I'm very concerned about calls happening and with low attendance.
I think for me, one other thing that I was a little confused about, and I'm, is the 2 working the 2 Google groups, right? If we send something out on the marketing Google group, people that are on the main group don't see it, or may or may not see it. So, for example, the meeting last Monday was, Emily seemed to be working on the main group, and so it's not clear to me that she necessarily saw any of the thread where you were asking, should we have this meeting? Should we cancel it? So, I mean, I know that it's a big, there's a lot of discourse that is that goes back and forth across the main Google group, but having the separate marketing group does create some confusion. I don't know what to do about that, other than perhaps maybe for announcements and things like that. The meeting is on, the meeting is canceled, things like that. Maybe we should copy both groups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ed, I always copy both the marketing and the working group. You mean
I did not, and maybe that was a mistake.
Okay, so then we know that not many are subscribed to the working group and not many are subscribed to the marketing group. do you consider, and this is a decision for later call, or maybe we just have it through the community forum, do you consider it necessary for us to use the community forum instead?
Well, speaking for me personally, I have to sort my attention between Slack, between the Google groups, and in fact, all of the Google facilities. My employer doesn't seem to like them, so I have to use the web interfaces for those when I'm at work, and then I have email. And so I'm constantly trying to round robin myself around those those data ports, if you will, and it's a challenge, right?
Yeah,
I'm a curmudgeon. If it were all in available via email that I could get, I can't do anything about my employer keeping me out of Gmail, for example, but there's if we could have settled on all the Eclipse email, that would have been that would have helped me, but I don't, it's not going to help the whole community, so I just have to keep round robining.
Okay, so Ed, like you and I are concerned, Tetiana, are you concerned about it? Because
yeah, there is some like concerning points here because of I notice even by myself that more and more I cannot visit all the meetings, and sometimes I'm not sure whether the meeting is going to be or not, and some stuff like that. So and one of the reasons is the bunch of emails that are coming, especially if there is some big amount of activities around closing the tickets and opening the tickets and some stuff like that, together with email notifications about some voting, plus whether something is going to be or not going to be. Sometimes the attention is switched off from that because like of the amount of the emails that are coming. So but yet maybe we just need to make it more regular, that we have the meeting once per 2 weeks, and that's it, and don't have these in-betweens. And if we have something in between, then discuss it in the thread, like if something is urgent to discuss. In most cases, I think that those questions can be discussed or like transferred to the next call.
I agree. I'm ruthless. We need to be ruthless with our time and how we protect it. And this is super important. We are 11:03, so we need to end this call. I think we need to put this to, the Stuart 540 and the next one. They need to go on the first things when we do when David returns in 2 weeks and to discuss, because we cannot go on as we are and just a call is canceled. Even 24 hours might not be enough. Let's create good filters. I have really great filters for anything that comes in from my open source contributions. So maybe Tetiana, that helps as well. But calls, extra calls need to be tackled carefully. Think about the 24 hours. If that is not enough, maybe 48 hours. And let's prepare. I'm not sure if we need to send a message to the community forum and say, to the marketing and working group forum and say, is it 24 hours enough or 48 hours, right? And this is only for the working group situation, not for a regular call, working group. And we want to make sure that if something gets canceled and it gets back, everyone needs to agree, because having most people be from just one entity, like the budget discussion was okay, I thought, and the level that like John thought it was necessary and Emily thought it was necessary. I disagreed, but that is what happens in open source. We disagree openly. And I still joined 20 minutes before it. Ed, you didn't join. Tetiana, you were there. I think Ryan were there, and it was a brainstorming session. I have not listened to the video. I will listen to the video this week. But it does concern me that triggers like this if the Eclipse Foundation says we need to have a call because we want to discuss this, we can still say no, right? Say, no, we won't. How about X, and we do Y and Z? We need to be able to say no to anyone and everyone, including ourselves. And that is what I think missed there. There is nothing wrong with what happened. It is just that it had not, like, many that should have been there weren't there. And it's because of the last minute upbringing. So we go with 11:06. Thanks, everyone. Tetiana, Ed, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for steering this call. I will write my name in the minutes, and we see you tomorrow.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.